Chapter 22, Bierton, a Gospel Standard Cause, 1981. During these times, whilst we were seeking to move back to Bierton and sell our house in Wigston, there were several moves initiated by Mrs. Everard for the church to join the Gospel Standard list of churches, as she had been our secretary and was finding it difficult to obtain supply preachers. Her sister, Mrs. Groom, and her brother-in-law were members of the Presswood Strict Baptist Church and really wanted the Bierton Church to become a Gospel Standard listed cause. I knew some of the members were quite happy with our ministers that were engaged to speak, and they did not see any need to become a Gospel Standard listed church. I write about this move in my book, The Bierton Crisis 1984 and Let Christian Men Be Men. It was during this time we were trying to move back to Bierton, and I was notified by letter on the 16th of January 1981 the church had decided to join the Gospel Standard at a meeting, and I was informed that Mr. Hope of Reading, Strict and Particular Baptist Church, was the chairman, and he agreed to do all the necessary documentation regarding this matter, and we were duly listed as a Gospel Standard cause. Mr. King had made the proposal and seconded by Mrs. Everard, and a unanimous decision by ballot was made. It was agreed we became a Gospel Standard listed cause. This was not, however, without opposition from without the church. Mr. Dix, the pastor of Dunstable Baptist Church, stated to me personally that we were out of order and it was illegal for us to adopt the Gospel Standard Articles of Religion and its rules of conduct. This I write about in my book, The Bierton Crisis 1984 and Let Christian Men Be Men. It was due to such opposition I made it a point to assess and examine the Gospel Standard Articles of Religion and realised that, rightly understood, they followed our Bierton Articles of 1831. And also I had resolved many of the issues that I had met that opposed my understanding of these truths. At this time, Ruth Ellis, who's been a great encouragement to my wife and I before we were married, used to visit her regularly with a friend and have good fellowship in the Lord. She eventually needed looking after and ended up in the Bethesda home at Harpenden. I believe it was noted that one could always have choice conversation with her on spiritual matters and recite many of the verses of the hymns verbatim.